Hey Hannah,
Hello.
how are you?
Good. So I saw that Kim just asked how to get over here, so hopefully she'll be in here soon.
Oh, yay!
Hey, hello. Yeah, so we don't expect like too many people in the room at each given time, so really feel free to interact. Some of the students may, like, you can tell them if they want, they can share their screen maybe. If they're comfortable with that, that's something they can do. You just have to kind of accept it when they ask to do that. It may be automatic. I don't know if we change the settings yet or anything, but you should be able to share your screen. So if you wanted to test that out, it's the like the little computer symbol at the bottom.
Cool. Yeah, it looks like. Vanessa, do you want to share the presentation or should I?
I downloaded the PDF, so if you like, I can present it.
I'm going to do either way.
Okay, oh, here it is. Okay.
Perfect.
Nice. Can you still see our notes?
I can't see notes.
You can see notes?
I can't. Oh. I see just like a search bar at the top, but I see it's mostly the presentation.
Cool.
Oh, man, I don't want it to show at the top.
Let me see. Okay, I'm pulling mine up as a PDF.
Hello to the couple of people who are already in the room. Welcome. I will be jumping off here soon. Just wanted to help with any tech setup.
You can try and share, Vanessa.
Okay.
I have a smaller top bar. Okay. Oh, one thing though, is it possible to share the entire or just a portion of the screen, or is it always going to be?
I think I separated it as a tab on its own. So before I shared my screen, like it showed like the different tabs. So I was able to share just the tab.
Okay, cool. Because actually, when I share it as a PDF, it shows like all the slides, like in the tab. Maybe we can do yours. I think that might be better.
If anything, too, I'm gonna try really quickly in presenter view. So,
hey.
Yeah, that works. That looks great.
Okay. Yay.
And I see that it is one, so I will stop sharing my video. And you guys can go ahead and get started.
Great.
Thank you, Hannah.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Today we're going to be doing a quick demo with you guys. It's just testing the soil pH with a really cool pH tester, cabbage juice. And it has to be red cabbage juice, but you guys probably already know that. So my name is Kim. I'm originally from Sacramento, and I went to my undergrad institution at UC Santa Cruz. So that was really fun, and I got to hang out in the mountains a lot. And now I'm at UCLA, and I'm getting my master's and my PhD there in anthropology.
Hi, everyone. My name is Vanessa Ramirez. I'm a recent grad from UCLA. So I just had my bachelor's in environmental science with a concentration in earth environmental science. And feel free at the end of the presentation to ask us any questions about like our field of study or college in general. We're really excited to speak with you.
So you guys are already well on your way through the science pathway. Maybe soon you'll be graduating from high school, and then if you decide to go off to a college, you can definitely do that for 2 or 4 years. It depends on what you want to do, what kind of degree you want to seek. Lots of it's like choose your own adventure. And then if you decide you really can't get enough of school, you can just keep going to grad school, which is where I am now.
So we know a couple of you maybe in middle school or high school. So you may have gone over what a pH is, but we just briefly want to go over it. So this may be new to you, or this may be stuff you've already learned. But basically, a pH is a measure of how acidic or basic a solution is. So you can see in the chart, it's on a scale from 0 to 14. So the lower the pH, like the lower the numbers, that means the solution is more acidic. The higher the pH, that means it's more alkaline. So you can see the different types of liquids that are on the chart. For example, distilled water has a neutral pH of 7, and that's safe to drink as well. Ocean water has a pH of 8, tomato juice a pH of 4, so more acidic. Hand soap is more alkaline. And a way to determine the pH of a solution or liquid, you can use pH strips. So they are the little strips you see on the left image. And usually pH strips come with a little chart. So you dip the pH strip in your solution or liquid, and then you let it dry. And depending on the colors that show up, you look at the pH strip chart to see what pH it is. So fortunately for us, we're going to do something more fun, and we're going to be using cabbage juice. And personally, we think it's much more a better alternative. It's much cheaper, much more efficient than typical ways to determine the pH. And with the range of colors that you'll see with your cabbage juice, it's a lot more variable than the colors you see on a typical pH strip.
So hopefully you guys have previously prepared your red cabbage juice, and you can just do that if you haven't already by boiling water and then tossing in like 3 or 4 leaves of red cabbage and then just letting it simmer for 10 minutes, and you'll get a really purple liquid like this. And so now what we're gonna do is the actual demo. So I'm gonna pour my cabbage juice. It's been in the fridge for like 2 days and it smells so strongly of cabbage. But before I do that, actually, I'm gonna put a couple spoonfuls of soil. And this is just from my favorite potted plant outside. Maybe I'll do 1 more spoonful. And then you just cover it with a couple inches of cabbage juice, and then you can give it a quick stir. And since soil, it's not an aqueous solution, right? It's kind of chunky. It takes a little bit to like fully soak in the cabbage juice. So we're gonna let it hang out for a little bit, and we're gonna explain the science to you in the meantime.
So as we are waiting for our liquid and soil to settle, we want to briefly explain why does soil pH matter. So understanding the pH of your soil is really essential to know like the minerals, how the minerals will be available to the roots of your plants. So in different parts of the world, obviously there are soils with different levels of acidity, but most plants typically thrive in a slightly acidic soil. So from pH 5.5 to 7. And so if your soil is too acidic, there are different things that you can do. There's this method called liming. You basically have like a ground up limestone and you can put it there and it can make it more neutral. Or if it's too alkaline, you can add organic materials like pine needles, peat moss, composted leaves. So there's different things that you can add to the soil if the pH is too high or too low. And raising the organic matter content of the soil will usually move the pH of both the acidic and alkaline soils towards a neutral range. And this is because organic matter plays a buffering role, so it protects the soil from becoming too acidic or alkaline.
So if we take a deeper look into that cabbage juice itself and kind of investigate about how it works as a pH indicator, the main like magical thing here is anthocyanins. And those are, okay, first they're really good for you. They're antioxidant, they're like really healthy, and it's purple. It's the thing that makes red cabbage red/purple. It's what makes blueberries blue, eggplants purple, and raspberries red. Like, it's just a pigment, and it's actually really, really sensitive to differences in pH, and that's how you get the huge range of colors that you can achieve with using cabbage juice as a pH indicator.
I muted myself, but how does cabbage juice compare to using other pH measuring equipment? So as we mentioned before, red cabbage juice can actually work better than litmus paper or a digital meter. I think one of the most important things is it's more accessible and more affordable. And additionally, the cabbage juice provides a much wider range of colors, which can give us a better estimation of the pH in soil. And due to its interaction with the anthocyanin, it can create a more accurate result. And cabbage juice doesn't require calibration after each soil sample, which is typically seen within very expensive digital meters used to determine pH. So it's a win-win. Go lettuce, oh, go cabbage, sorry.
All right, so hopefully our cabbage juice has had enough time to settle. I'll just show you mine, but then I also want to see your guys's. Oh, it's so dark. I don't know if you can see very well, but mine is, it looks pretty neutral, maybe a bit more on the alkaline side. It's kind of dark blue. Vanessa, how do yours look?
So this is just soil by itself. So it's same as yours, pretty dark. But I added lime to the soil. So I don't know if you can see, it's slightly more red. Well, not so much, but
I can tell though. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, can you tell?
If
so this
hold
is
it there. That's perfect.
That's it with the light. So I added lime. So because I added lime, it gives off a more pinkish reddish color.
Nice. Does anybody have like a cool soy color or a cool cabbage juice color they want to show us? Feel free to screen share.
Yeah, you can screen share. You can type it in the chat if you have access to it.
I also, since I know that mine wasn't terribly exciting, I also have soap and vinegar. So do you guys want to see pink or blue?
Oh, Hannah's turned to blue. Yes, new tests.
Yay, we have a blue soil. Okay, let's do pink. I feel like it's the more dramatic one. Really quickly, just because mine was boring. So I just have vinegar here and cabbage juice. Ta-da! I don't know if you can see it yet. Can you see it? How pink it is? Cool. Maybe I'll get a flashlight later. All right.
So what Kim demonstrated is this is your time to experiment. So if you have vinegar lying around or like dish soap or hand soap, feel free to put it in your leftover cabbage juice if you have a lot. And we just want to put a warning. We do not advise anyone to be interacting with solutions that are very acidic, such as carboxylic acid, or very alkaline, like drain cleaner. So we just recommend you to stay within relatively safe solutions like lemon juice, up to lemon juice to like toothpaste, which is like around like a pH of 2 to 9. So we just advise you to not test solutions are too acidic or too alkaline. But that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for doing this demonstration with us, and we can take any questions you have related to the demonstration or the science behind it, or you can even ask us questions about like our field of study.
Are you guys able to unmute yourselves? I'm new to the Hopin platform or the Hopin platform, so let us know. Hi.
Hi. My name's Daniela. I'm a chemistry and physics teacher, so I teach high school. I know that this is a session, but I wanted to know what you guys study. I'm like in my classroom trying to make cabbage juice. I had to go to like 4 grocery stores to find a red cabbage.
And it's so expensive, right?
Oh my God, I spent like $5 on it. I was like, how are you the only red cabbage here and you're like the biggest one? So I don't have to buy this for my class anymore, like any more cabbage.
So my field of study, I'm in grad school, so it's like pretty specific. Right now I'm doing human adaptation to high altitudes through genetic and epigenetic pathways in the Andes. Yeah.
And I just graduated with a degree in environmental science with a concentration in earth environmental science. And my research during undergrad was studying the potential of sunflowers to remediate lead-contaminated soil. And now we just we love to give science demonstrations, and we love to support you if you need any help with anything. Like we also provide webinars to in-class demonstrations, so we can also do that for you. But yeah, we would love to help in any way. But thank you so much for coming as well.
Thanks. So what did your sunflower study? What did you find out?
So I really wanted sunflowers to be like a solution to lead contaminated soil, but due to the nature of lead, because it's not very mobile, not a lot of lead would be absorbed by the roots of the sunflower. Bioremediation or phytoremediation, or plants absorbing lead, may not be a viable solution for lead contaminated soil, but I have heard of mulch. Because essentially, since lead is naturally found in soil, by adding mulch and adding bare soil with very low amounts of lead concentration, it can decrease the ratio of the lead within the soil. Like for example, if it's 400 there's a couple studies that I found. I think one study was 600 ppm, and it decreased all the way down to 10 ppm, which is a huge change in terms of the lead concentration in the soil. So I think I love sunflowers, but I think in terms of the most viable contaminated soil, I think mulch may be a better alternative. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to talk about it more whenever you like.
Cool. We just started a community garden at the school, so that's very relevant to what we're doing. Yeah, we have strawberries, and everyone who tries the strawberries, these are the best strawberries I've ever had. I think we're just biased because we grew them at school.
No, that is incredibly valid. I feel like strawberries are the best strawberries I've had were at the farmer's market, organically grown or in your backyard. But
yeah, and when you're done, if you have too much leftover cabbage juice, you can pour it into your garden because it's an organic and bio safe, and yeah.
From the bio teacher's plant that she neglected over our spring break, so I'm gonna see what it comes out to be.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's really cool.
I'm scared because this is warm. Hold on. Let me get it.
Let me see if I can grab a flashlight. Okay, so if I do this, then that looks better.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
yeah. Let's see if I can do it.
Oh, looks so good. Oh, that's so acidic. Nice.
I can tell.
At our classroom, so like I don't know where anything is anymore.
I just moved into a new lab too. And like I'm the one who set it up, but then COVID happened and I haven't been there in a year and now I just don't know where anything is.
This is not good lab practice. Just ignore me.
We won't tell. No.
Wait, are you in the lab
I
right
ran
now?
a 10K this morning and I was like, I could go to the lab or I could take a nap, and I took a nap.
Oh yeah, labs are very important. Yes, put ourselves first.
This isn't changing color too much. Yeah. Actually,
Yeah,
Oh, that's really
and if you
cool.
let it
I
sit
can see
more,
it.
it'll like change slowly.
yeah, I'll probably let like the soil settle. It
Yeah.
looks a little acidic to me.
Cool. You can also use it to test tap water hardness.
That's really cool.
I did it last night and like I just forgot about it, and then 30 minutes later it was like blue.
I can see like the physical evidence of water hardness at home, especially in LA.
When do we start doing
Well,
the next demo or the next round?
I think we do it 3 times. Hannah, if you can hear us. Okay, Hannah's coming.
I'm in. Yeah, so we have 3 different demos, so we figured we'd split the hour up into 3 sections. So if everyone in this one wants to hop over to a different demo now so that you can go and explore the bio or the astronomy live one, and then people from those groups should be coming in here as well. So yeah, so it should be very soon. Everyone else in the other demos should be wrapping up relatively soon. I'll check in with the other coordinators and just there may be somebody else coming in. I don't know. We should talk about if I should switch to another demo too. We haven't discussed this, but it'll be very soon. I'm gonna go and ask them and pop into maybe a different one and see how close they are to wrapping up, and maybe back to and I'll be back and just let you know when you can go ahead and start the next one. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Hannah.
No.
Bless you.
It'll come.
I take it back.
All right, I'll probably check out the other ones, but if I come back, or if I don't come back, thank you, and I'll keep in touch.
It was so nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Daniela. Kind of don't know. I kind of want to like check out the other demonstration, but like I don't want to leave and like have someone come in and like I think I'm gonna just stay here. But if you want to
That's
check out the
okay. I
demonstration,
can also
feel
stay
free
here while
to
you
go
check
for
out
it.
the other demos. Yeah. And if anybody comes, then I'll just start screen sharing.
Okay. I'll wait.
I'm gonna like
Oh,
reintroduce you
hello.
guys for like the people that come back in. So like continue your discussion.
Okay, thank you.
So is the 4 out of 9 how many people are here?
4 out of the 9 are how many people are sharing a screen right now. So we're using 4 of the 9 available screens that can be like shown at once. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But we also have Hannah Cho, who's in the room with us. Hi, Hannah. Or is not, because she just left.
Cool.
I was going to say, people are, it seems like, meandering around. Let me see.
Maybe I'll grab some water if I like lighten up my cabbage juice so it's like less concentrated.
Okay, Hannah's been talking about you guys doing testing the pH with the cabbage, and she was raving about how well it worked. So I'm super excited to see this.
Yeah, I remember Hannah approaching us and asking if we wanted to do the cabbage science demo. And then we were all like super stoked. Like, we have never heard of like testing pH with cabbage. So we were really
it just
excited.
like looks like such a cool thing that it's like, I mean, it's just like not something that I think I would ever just like randomly like think to do, but it's so awesome.
Yeah, I was doing like all of the solutions I could find in my house last night. I picked the 2 best ones.
Hannah said she went outside and got like dirt from outside to do it. I was like, that is dedication. She's doing it on for like a Friday night, and I was like, wow, that is hardcore. Appreciate it.
Gotta do it for the science.
Let me see. We can give everybody another minute. Let me see what our distribution is.
How did the first 2 days go, Maggie,
honestly, like
the conference?
A lot better than I think, knock on wood, we thought they were gonna go. We hit like a lot less, I will say, like problems with technology than we thought we were going to. But overall, yeah, it's been a long few days still. But how have your weeks been? I know, do both of you like work on campus? Because I know like with the power outage, like a lot of people were having problems.
I have not, but do I need to go check on the negative lady? Like,
honestly, it's all good.
Yeah, it's alarmed. It should be fine, right? It should be fine. Whatever.
That was our attitude too. So we're like, it's probably okay. No, so what happened was that South Campus got a blackout on like Friday night, and like none of the backup generators like went on. And then power went back on like Saturday morning. And I will say like my entire lab got like their second vaccine shot last Friday. So we were all like having fevers, like fever dreams, kind of like sleeping it off. And my advisor is like calling all of us. Like he's like FaceTiming us like while he's like walking around the lab. He's like, this is a big mess. He's like, this is really bad, but none of you can come in. And we're like, good.
Jeez.
Yeah, okay. They still didn't say like what happened. It was super strange.
So it went back on earlier today.
It went back on. No, it went back on last Saturday, but people are still dealing with the effects of it because like so many people's instruments like broke, like with like the change in pressure and like the power just coming back on, like circuits were shorting. So like I know we lost like 2 computers. I know. We like lost 2 computers. Our glove boxes all went down, so we spent like all week bringing them back up and stuff like that. Oh, as I'm talking about this, people are joining us. Hello.
Oh gosh, yeah, I have to go into it then.
Yeah,
Awesome.
no, you're good then. You're good.
Wow.
Hi everyone. Welcome to, I guess, testing pH with your cabbage. So we have Venezia and Kimberly with us here today, and they're going to be walking us through that. Clearly, Elliot is very excited about this. Same rules apply as every other room. Please be respectful of your presenters and ask questions in the chat. And yeah, we'll just have a really great time. So I'm going to turn off my camera and leave it to the experts.
Hi guys, thanks so much for coming. We're super psyched that you came to view our demo and maybe do it with us. My name's Kim. I'm originally from Sacramento and I went to college, like undergrad, in Santa Cruz. So that was really nice, mountains and beach. Now I'm at UCLA and I'm getting my PhD and my master's in biological anthropology and human genetics.
Hi everyone, my name is Vanessa Ramirez. I'm from LA. I'm a recent grad from UCLA. I studied environmental science with a concentration in earth and environmental science. And at the end of the demonstration, feel free to ask us any questions regarding to the demonstration, but also with our field of science. I'd really love to collaborate and share information.
So, believe it or not, you guys are already well on your ways to being scientists, if that what you wish to be. Once you graduate high school, you can decide if you want to go to college and what kind of program is right for you, where you want to go to college. It's just choose your own adventure, so much opportunity. And then if you graduate from college and you decide you really, really like school, you can just keep going to school. And that's what I did. And I'm in grad school now.
So in regards to the demonstration, maybe a couple of you have heard of a pH, but we just briefly want to go over what it is, if this is new to some people. So a pH is basically a measure of how acidic or basic a solution is. And so it's usually, it's on the scale of 0 to 14. So the lower the pH, the more acidic the solution is. The higher the pH, the more alkaline. So you'll see some examples. Vinegar and tomato juice have lower pHs, while hand soap and ammonia have higher pHs. And a pH of 7 means it's neutral. So just right, like distilled water, which is what we're going to be working with today. The science behind it is the amount of free hydrogen and hydroxyl ions in the water. That's not really complicated right now, but maybe in high school and college, you'll learn more about it. And one of the ways to determine your pH are by these little strips called pH strips. So you can get them at the store, or maybe your teacher has them, but you basically get a pH strip and you dip them into your liquid, you let it dry, and depending on the colors that you see in your pH strip, you correlate it with the chart that comes with the pH strip package, and it tells you what pH that solution is. So fortunately for us, we have a much more accessible, affordable way to determine our pH, and that's with cabbage juice. So cabbage juice is super helpful because it provides a much wider range of colors, which can help us more easily determine the pH of something. And just even look at it, it looks more colorful than like bland pH strips. So we hope you're excited for the demonstration as much as we are.
So let's get started and let's do some science. Hopefully you guys have cabbage juice already. I did mine like a half strength, but it's still really, really strong. And it's like, you can't even see the purple, but it's very purple. And if you haven't done this already, you can just get started whenever you want. whether that be like right now or later. But just get 2 cups of distilled water, throw a couple red cabbage leaves in it, simmer it for 10 minutes, and then just let it cool till it's not like scalding hot. And we're gonna get started on step 2 right now. I have a little Tupperware filled with dirt. So I'm gonna put a couple spoonfuls into my nice little jar. I'm gonna cover it with a bit of cabbage water. Ta-da! And it's super dark, but don't worry, I'm gonna use my phone as a flashlight. So we'll let the soil settle for a little bit. Since it's not an aqueous solution, we have to let the cabbage juice and the soil just really soak into each other and mingle so we get good results.
So while we wait for our soil and liquid to settle, we just want to explain, why does soil pH matter? And it matters for a bunch of reasons. Knowing your pH is the key to understanding if essential minerals will be available to the roots of your plants. So if your soil is too acidic or alkaline, nutrients will have a hard time dissolving in water and reaching the plant's root systems. So improper pH, whether it's too acidic or too alkaline, can damage your plants. So typically plants thrive within pHs within 5.5 to 7, so slightly acidic. And in different parts of the world, the pH of the soil may vary. But for example, with the soil that you have, if it's too acidic, you can put ground with limestone. It's a method called liming. And putting limestone in your soil will make it more neutral. And likewise, if your soil is too alkaline, you can add organic material like pine needles, peat moss, composted leaves. And so raising the organic matter content of the soil usually moves the pH either to make it more acidic or alkaline, depending on your situation. So it protects the soil in very important ways.
So if we wanted to take a deeper look into how this boiled cabbage juice is such a powerful and accessible and just all around great pH indicator, we'd have to focus on anthocyanins. And anthocyanins, they sound intimidating, but they're actually really good for you. They have antioxidant effects, and they're found in a lot of things. It's a pigment, essentially, that gives red cabbage its purple red color, and it makes eggplants purple, blueberries blue, raspberries red. It's found in a lot of things all around us. And anthocyanin, what's cool about it is it's super sensitive to pH. So with this, you can achieve a huge range of colors, going from like yellowy green all the way to like bright berry pink or whatever. And yeah, it's really good.
So you have, So how does cabbage juice compare to other pH measuring equipment? So as we mentioned before, the cabbage juice provides us a much wider range of colors to estimate the pH of the soil. And due to the interaction with the anthocyanins, it can lead to a more accurate result. And cabbage juice doesn't require calibration after each soil sample, which is typically found with inexpensive digital meters. And I think most importantly, it's affordable. Well, it may be expensive, but I mean, compared to like litmus papers and the expensive digital meters, it's much more accessible. So now let's check our results.
All right. So if I look at mine, the soil, it's just so dense. Okay, you can kind of see how like purpley gray it is. So I think my soil is pretty neutral. I feel like a beauty YouTuber trying to like get a good focus. All right, Vanessa, how does yours look? I think you're muted.
So I used, you can kind of see. Oh, yay, you can. So this is my regular soil. I guess because it's had more time to settle, I added lime juice to my soil. So because I increased the acidity, it's a more pinkish reddish hue. So that's my soil. Just kidding. And so you have so much juice left over. What are the things that you can do? I remember Kim mentioning that you can put like hand soap, or like stuff you find in your household. But we just really want to emphasize that we do not want anyone to be going to solutions or liquids that have a very low pH and a very high pH. So we want to make sure that everyone is working with liquids that have a relatively safe pH, from lemon juice to toothpaste. So we just want to put that little warning. Feel free to experiment with stuff you have around your house, but stay away from products you wouldn't want your parents work with. But that's it.
Ta-da! And if you guys want, because I know Venezia's is great, but mine just looks kind of the same, we can play around with soap and vinegar if we have time at the end after questions.
Any questions?
Oh, thanks, Maggie. So kind. Cool. Do we want to play with more cabbage juice stuff? Okay. All right. So I'm pouring some cabbage juice in, and I have hand soap and vinegar. So which one do you want to try? Do you want to make it blue or pink? And you can type it into the chat, whatever you want. Blue, yay, okay, cool. So I tried it with a lot of different soaps in my apartment, and actually Dr. Bronner's worked the best. So I have my cabbage juice. I'm just gonna add in a few drops. Actually, I'll give it a hearty squeeze. And do a quick stir. Ta-da, it's so blue already. Exciting.
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen to see if, oh, there you go. People can see it better. Wow, that's crazy.
I'm not good with this flashlight. That was so quick, right? It does look like Kool-Aid. And if you wanted, well, don't drink soap. But if you put like a lime in there, you can drink it. It just smells like really cabbagey. Also, if you have a lot left over after all of your extracurricular experiments, you can just toss the cabbage juice like in your yard. And that's like step one. Like it's a form of composting, you know? Yeah. Before I do pink now, do we want to ask any questions, anybody?
You can feel free to unmute yourselves or type it in the chat.
You have Dr. Bronner's too? Yeah, give it a shot. So cool. I tried it with my like skin toner and like my shampoo.
I'm gonna try it. Okay. Hopefully.
Oh wait, you do yours first, yeah.
I'm so weak.
Is the
Oh, it has a tap. Sorry, this is new. So.
brand new material, unaltered. Mm-hmm. That's good science right there.
Feel free to ask any questions In the meantime, anyone?
Yeah. We don't fight.
We're just experimenting. Oh man, I'm still really weak.
That looks like a really strong bottle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you mix it?
Yeah. For me, it like takes a second before I. It's really greeny.
That's crazy.
You guys should try it at home. It's like when you're in person, you can like see the color. It's so cool. Do it at home, guys.
Wow.
All right, I'm gonna do vinegar now. Are we ready for a dramatic pink?
Yes.
Ta-da!
Wow.
Pretty cool. Ta-da!
That's crazy.
I think this is my favorite color today. This also looks like Kool-Aid, the best flavor of Kool-Aid.
Crazy. Yeah, it's very instantaneous. It's so fast.
Yeah, and honestly, you guys, like I want to bring cabbage juice into the lab. I hate using the super expensive meters. This is so fast, it's so easy, and it's like it's accurate enough. Yeah.
Crazy.
Any questions at all? That was so cool.
Wow. I thought that was really cool.
Thanks.
Me and Ellie are like sitting here texting each other going, oh my God, look at the colors and how quickly it's happening. So clearly we were amazed. If there is no questions, everybody please feel free to rotate to the next room. So we'll have people coming in here as soon as I think the other demo started about at the same time you guys did. So they'll probably end right about now as well. So yes, but thank you so much. That was really, really cool. I need to go and get myself some red cabbage so that I can try this at home later.
It's
Highly
really
recommend.
Yeah, you can also check your tap water hardness. And it's like, mine was pretty dramatic. It turned blue, but I had to like let it sit for like maybe like 30, 15 minutes or something like that. 15 to 30. Yeah, but.
Well, that's going to be something that I'm going to do because my roommates are always asking about that. And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know how hard our water is. But thank you again. This was so great. Probably, I'm thinking Sarah's probably going to come in here next to come and hang out with you guys and whoever else comes to watch. But this was, yeah, awesome.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
It's fun hanging out. All right. I'm going to go dump out my wastewater into my, actually, I'll just give it to this plant right here.
I usually put my plants in mason jars, well, sometimes. And then, because we're cleaning out like the kitchen cabinets.
Yeah.
So I was walking to our balcony with 2 mason jars, and she's like, don't tell me you're bringing more plants. And I was like, it's for science demonstration, okay? So, she started plants. Yeah, because I like to steal like little succulents and they grow them. And they grow them in mason jars.
That's my whole garden. It's pirated succulents. Yeah. Because I like walk the dogs and like I'll like pretend to pick up poop and then I'll just like take over.
Yes. It's like the ultimate way to get plants. It's, still being respectful, but.
Yeah, one time I got caught and the guy came outside and he was like, hey, you should ask first. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, I probably would have ran. I would have still taken it and ran.
When I get nervous like that, my voice goes so high and I was like, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
plants. We're plant thieves. Proud plant thieves.
But also, it's like, I don't know. It's like not, I don't know. Thief just sounds so negative.
Oh, I'm sorry, plant. Okay, I feel like how it started for me, I would see succulents that were dying.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah.
Right
I'm like, oh, they're all-
here. I have one. This was like part of a big thing that like it was just like ripped off. Like there was no soil and no roots. And like, yeah. I have
Yeah,
so
so-
many.
we're nurturing them back to life from the neglect. Yes! Oh, it's so cute.
Letting them have babies.
Mhm.
Be successful in the eyes of natural selection.
Yes, very true.
Do we have anyone?
So Maggie said that someone else was going to come
Cool.
as a moderator. Okay. When you dump the water, it sounds like ASMR.
I can just go back and forth for you.
Very soothing.
Oh, my desk smells so cabbagey right now. And it's
Oh,
awful.
are you drinking it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, like you're drinking
It's gross, no. Yeah, I just like on days before I run, like I don't like to eat before, so I just make like chia seed pudding and I just like drink it.
Because I thought like, oh, like my desk would smell so cabbagey, and then I saw you drinking the cabbage juice. That's what it looked like. That's why, and I was like, what? Crazy. That's cool.
I fed my dogs with boiled cabbage like for like 3 days. Their farts were just so cabbagey. It was so gassy, and they had purple poops. I didn't even give them that much.
Wow.
Sorry.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah,
I guess there's like 10 minutes left. So should we start?
Do we have anyone?
Because there's 4 people, so there's 2 additional people.
Ooh, okay.
So maybe. Here, I'll share my screen again.
Yay! Okay, cool.
Woohoo.
Hi, we have Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Okay.
Cool. Hi, thanks for coming to our demo. We're super psyched, and I'm pretty sure we have the coolest one, even though we haven't seen the others. But yeah, today we're going to be testing soil pH with cabbage juice. My name's Kim. I'm from Sacramento, so not too far north of here, but pretty dang far. And I went to my undergrad at UC Santa Cruz, and now I'm at UCLA, and I'm getting my master's and PhD in biological anthropology and human genetics.
And my name is Vanessa Ramirez. I am from LA, and I recently graduated from UCLA with a degree in environmental science and a concentration in earth and environmental science. And would be happy to answer any questions you have relating to our field of study or college or anything else that's not specifically related to the demonstration.
So, believe it or not, you're actually well on your way to like along the science pathway. Once you graduate high school, you have this big like choose your own adventure opportunity time, and it's kind of intimidating, but it's really cool because you get to check out colleges and decide where you want to go and like what kind of degree you want and what field you want to do. And after you graduate from college, if you decide that you just really like school and maybe you're not so ready for like the real world, you can go to grad school. And you can just keep going to school and you can get a master's or a PhD.
So for this demonstration, we are going to be going over pH. So some of you may have not learned it yet if you're in middle school, and if you're in high school, maybe you have learned it, but we just briefly want to go over what it is. So it's basically a measure of how acidic or basic a solution is, and that's due to the amount of free hydrogen and hydroxyl ions. Don't worry, it sounds kind of chemistry complicated, but you're going to learn that more in high school or possibly college. So the pH scale ranges from 0 to 14. Low pH typically means that the solution is very acidic. A very high pH means that the solution is very alkaline. And a pH of 7 means it's neutral. So and that can be seen with distilled water that you typically drink. So how do you determine the pH of a solution? So what's typically used are these things called pH strips, litmus paper. And you dip the pH strip in your solution, in your liquid, and you just let it dry. And depending on the colors that show up on your pH strip, you correlate it with the chart seen in the image to the left. And depending on the color you see, you can determine, oh, it has a pH of so-and-so because these colors showed up. And more specific to our demonstration, we are going to be using cabbage juice, which is much more cooler to determine the pH. And plus it gives you much more variable colors that can easily determine, okay, it's more acidic or it's more alkaline.
So hopefully you guys have already done step 1. If not, feel free to do this anytime you feel like it. Just get 2 cups of distilled water. It has to be distilled because it's neutral pH. And then just start boiling that. And once it's simmering, toss in a couple cabbage leaves, let it go for 10 minutes, turn off the heat, and just let it hang out till it's not like gonna burn you hot. After, what we're gonna do now is step 2. So you're gonna get a couple spoonfuls of dirt from your garden and then toss it into a jar and then cover it with about an inch or 2 of cabbage juice. And like so, Venezia's is gorgeous color right now. And then since soil is not an aqueous solution, we have to let it kind of sit for a bit. So that way the cabbage juice and the soil can like fully mingle and we can get the best results possible.
And so while we wait for our soil to settle, we just want to briefly go over why does soil pH matter. So knowing the soil pH is key to understanding if essential minerals will be available to the roots of your plants. So if the soil is too acidic or too alkaline, nutrients will have a hard time dissolving in the water and reaching the plant's root systems. So improper pH affects nutrient availability, but also vegetables that you're growing or like different plants within the soil. So if your soil is too acidic, you can add this thing called like ground up limestone. It can make it more neutral. If your soil is too alkaline, then you can add pine needles, composted leaves, and so forth. And so raising the organic matter content in the soil acts like a buffer, protecting the soil from becoming too acidic or too alkaline. But typically, most plants thrive in slightly acidic soil, ranging from pH 5.5 to 7.
And if we wanted to look a bit more at the science of cabbage juice itself, we have to talk about anthocyanins. And anthocyanins, even though it sounds intimidating, they're actually really good for you. They have lots of antioxidant effects, and you can find them in a lot of foods that you eat. It's the pigment that makes blueberries blue, eggplants purple, and raspberries red. So it's really all around you, hopefully a lot of it in your diet. And what we're featuring about it today is its ability to change color because it's so sensitive to pH. And so that's why anthocyanins are why if you have a really basic solution that you're testing, it turns blue and almost green, or if it's acidic, it can turn bright raspberry red.
And so how does cabbage juice compare to other pH measuring equipment? So red cabbage actually works better than litmus paper or a digital meter typically because it provides a more accurate estimation of the pH, and just as Kim was mentioning, due to that anthocyanin. And also, cabbage doesn't really require calibration after each soil sample, which is typically seen within digital meters. And plus, you can get cabbage at your local grocery store, community garden, so it's much more accessible and affordable. And plus, it's a lot cooler.
All right, so let's check out our results. Let me turn my flashlight on. Mine is not terribly interesting. It's very neutral. Yeah, it's very neutral, and it's so dark. But Venezia, let's check out yours. Gorgeous. Oh, you're muted again.
So this is slightly red because in my soil I added lime juice. So it's more acidic, so it gives us a more reddish pinkish tone. And here is my cabbage juice, in which I added Dr. Bronner's hand soap. And that leads us to, we have so much cabbage juice left over, so this is our time to experiment. So you can even use cabbage juice to test the tap water hardness. And you can use the cabbage juice to determine the pH of different liquids in your household, ranging from lemon juice to toothpaste. And we recommend sticking within like lemon juice or toothpaste with a relatively safe pH. We don't want you going near carbonated acid or drain cleaner. So just stay away from liquids or solutions that have very extreme pHs if it's too acidic or too alkaline. But that's it.
Any questions? Could you theoretically use juice from other anthocyanin-containing plants and see similar results? I'd say yes. I haven't tried it, but that's a great idea. And if you're using something like eggplant, just keep in mind that anthocyanin it's the purple pigment that's on the skin of the eggplant. And so like when you cut it open, the inside is like white grayish. Just like maybe use eggplant peels and boil it. Yeah, good thinking. We use red cabbage though, just because it has so dang much anthocyanin, and that's why it gives us this really powerful purple juice that's like so concentrated. Any other questions? Oops. All right, well, if you guys want a minute to think of questions, I can show you live how it looks when you add solutions, different pH solutions to cabbage juice. So here I have my standard cabbage juice. Do you guys want to see blue or pink? You can type it in the chat or unmute yourselves. Blue. Okay, cool. So here it is. Pretty standard stuff. It's purple. This is just Dr. Bronner's soap. Ta-da! So blue! Exciting, huh? Ta-da! Very cool. All right, did that give anybody enough time to think of a question? Dog. All right, well, I can also show you guys pink. So I have my standard run-of-the-mill cabbage juice. Yes, I love the enthusiasm, Venezia. All right, ready? It's gonna be fast. Keep your eyes peeled. Ta-da! It's so cute. Gorgeous. Wouldn't it be so tragic if I dropped this over my laptop right now? Ooh, have you tried blowing into the cabbage juice with a straw and see it turn pink? The CO2 from your breath creates carbonic acid in water. That's super cool. And that's very true. And that's the same thing that happens with ocean acidification and increasing levels of CO2 in the environment. So it's a great application of other concepts to like real life experiments you can do. Is it more common in lab pH tests? No. This is this is the first time I've ever heard of like the magical power of cabbage juice. Hi, bud. And I don't know, like before I mean, I've worked in like California Fish and Wildlife and just like genetics labs. And like, oh, we always had these really expensive pH meters that were garbage and they took so long to calibrate. And you need all the calibration fluids and it's a huge pain and it was my least favorite thing to do. This is way cooler and better. These are great questions. I'm so impressed.
Do we have any middle school or high school? It's okay, Vita. When just asking.
We can try the straw thing. Do we have time?
Is there a moderator here?
I can just go get a straw.
Okay. Yes, I'm back. Do we have time to do to blow into the cabbage juice with a straw, Hannah? I know we're going a little bit over, but okay, thank you. Okay. Yes, we can.
Cool. All right, let's see if this works, guys. I don't think it's going.
It's so hot. Or if anyone else has done this demonstration before, do you know how long it typically takes of blowing into the liquid? I've only done it once with cabbage powder, so I have been more concentrated. Okay. It's still a really good suggestion. Thank you, Maria. Go, Kim, go. It's okay if you're tired, Kim. I know it gets tiring.
I don't think it's gonna go, but I'm very impressed. This is super cool experiment.
I completely forgot about that too. About the CO2 in my breath.
There was a bit of cabbage in my juice.
Okay. Well, if anyone has any other questions, we would love to answer them. But if not, I guess if you have like other demonstrations, oh yeah, anytime, Hannah. Thank you so much for coming. We really enjoyed giving this demonstration.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us to demo. This was so cool. So much fun to meet everybody. Yeah.
Oh, here comes it.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
So I wanted to let everyone know who's in the room that it's tea time. So we have our tea time room open as well as the rest of our community rooms in the sessions tab. So the next hour or so, feel free to come and join them, including Vanessa and Kim if you want to just hang out. We generally just hang out and talk about research, talk about life, and just get to know each other a little bit more. And then we have some app workshops at 3. So we have Android, iPhone, like building game apps in there. So should be a fun time if everyone or if people wanted to come back then. But until then, there's tea time. So again, everyone is invited over to those other rooms as well.
Thanks so much. Cool.
And thank you both so much for coming and doing this demo. I really had a fun time doing the different soil tests. I actually did 2, and I like one of them was like a bright blue color because it was like a clay in my backyard hill, and then I had like my normal garden soil, which was like very much the more neutral-ish, like purpley color.
Nice. That's so cool.
So it was pretty interesting. I unfortunately already dumped them out. But yeah. So
thanks so much for inviting us to demo. This is so much fun, and really appreciate it.
Thank you both again.
Anytime.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.